at the end of this process, will you be a better person? You know, I mean,
Yeah.
a more fulfilled person, or what does it do to you?
I think it's you become a better person because you become more clever and you learn things.
Clever in
And
which
in
way?
the end of the sorry,
Clever in which way?
in the end of the day, I think that we all deal with things that topics that interest us. So I would end up working with artists that make shows with themes that somehow gives me something. So I would of course become a better person because I would learn more, become more clever about things. So yeah, of course, in that sense, it's a development, positive development. But for both, I mean, for both the artist and the curator and the audience, I mean, if it doesn't make anybody a better person, I don't really think there is a reason to make art. And I think most of the artists would have this as a kind of main goal, not like kind of like the optimal goal would be to make a change or to make somebody aware of something they didn't know before, or to to give something to the world. I think that's if you ask the artists like to be honest about why they make art, there would be an answer, something they would answer something like that. Either I want to bring something to the world, I want to share some thoughts with people, something that they didn't think about before, or so I think that's in our profession of art, I think it's this idealistic way of seeing the profession is very typical. I mean, that should be
I have the feeling it go opposite.
no?
I have the feeling it go opposite. Slowly getting more professional. People have to make more deals. They have to, for example, make, let's say, an exhibition about Arctic with money of companies that is killing the climate.
Yeah,
They have to cover, and it's not based on
yeah,
authenticity.
yeah. But I agree with you. I think I think you're right. But when the artist would still dream about being able to work with whatever they find important themselves. But the reality often is like that. That some of the artists would get a proposal to make a show about something that don't really consider important, but they would have to do it because it's a good opportunity to show in a nice space, so they would get a little bit of money or something like that. But that I'm talking more about like the nature of an artist in a more innocent way.
But I think I will classify this curator in two categories: a powerful curator and the curator without space. Let's say, if you want to start to work with MoMA or to work with Istanbul Biennale, or if you want to have the big jobs, then you need to make a lot of compromise. If you want to work on a certain level where you don't have access to the big museum or to the, then maybe you can be more honest. But if you want to grow in, let's say, in the machine,
You know what? You're probably totally right about that. I think it's. I think you might be. I think you're right about these things. And most interesting creators I have met have been creators working on small shows or maybe independent. And the only thing one can do to change it, I mean, it's probably to try to formulate some thoughts about why one is taking that kind of decision of not going compromise, like accepting compromises, but trying to stick to the, maybe a pure idea of the artist's wish to communicate something to the world, and the curator helping this happen in the right way. So maybe just like the only thing one can do is like to try to talk about these things as being important, and yeah, somehow maybe I'm not. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure
Do you think
if
we
there's
need a
so much of.
revolution?
Sorry.
Do you think we need to change things because there is a problem with the mechanic of the system?
Um.
You know, art has
Yeah.
had revolution. There is change. There is, let's say, the Dadaists. They were anti-bourgeois. They were anti-art. You know, I mean, do you think it's, you know, things are blocked in a way which is not good for the relationship with the curator, with the system, with the audience? Things have to change, or they are good like they are.
Yeah, things have to change definitely. But I'm not. Um, I'm not sure how, to be honest. But yeah, the things should change. But it's very difficult to imagine because how the new structure would look like, because everything is so linked. So meaning that yeah, the big curators, they work in the big institutions and big festivals, and that functions in a certain like net of connections, of funding and support and all these things. And I mean, it's not only about me getting a job somewhere, for example, and trying to work differently. It's about the whole structure around it. I mean, it's difficult to imagine how it would work because everything should change. You know, even the maybe the education system should change, and the funding system should change. The political system of funding cultural things should change, and many things. And it's difficult to imagine exactly how it would look like.
But the text you are
Uh,
sending, the text I got from you, this text with the drawing and the scheme,
yeah,
is it more the beginning of a revolutionary manifesto, or is it an observation from being in New York and
no, it's not observation about being in New York. It's about observation about specifically about the relationship between the artist and the curator. And I'm trying to put some words on paper about that, and to be able to communicate these things and what I would think would be a good relationship, the healthy relationship between the artist and the curator. And by making a text at some point, I would be able to like give it to somebody would read it and just communicate it. It's not a revolution about concretely a change, but it's at least a way of communicating my thoughts about this relationship that might be interesting for others to know, and they might agree and so on. But it's not a text about against anybody. It's not a text against something concrete. It's
no, a manifesto doesn't have to be against something. You know, it can be a new guide of behavior. For example, you can
yeah,
express how people should behave to
yeah.
each other, or
You can see it like that, but it's very far from a revolutionary text, I would say, because it doesn't really work like that. I mean, it's very bad revolutionary text.
no, it's
I
a
mean, it's
beginning. I mean, it's you formulate, and let's say what you are sending me from New York, it's your opposite of what I will expect, because I see the whole system you are in as, like I say, cynical and all this, and you come back with the opposite. The more you are in the cynical system, the more you see the importance of doing like you do, being honest,
but it's a
authentic.
reaction. I mean, it's a reaction of how on what I see. There are things I see that I don't like, and things I see that I do like, and that makes me reflect on my own position. And being in a city doesn't mean that you become one of the you become as they are. It may it's a kind of it's interesting to be in a city this size because everything is very massive, and as I said in the beginning, somehow the discussions are more clear here to me because people, they take stands. There would be ones working really underground, and there would be ones working really commercially with art curating, and there will be ones that work really like within the art history, from the art history point of view, and they also work with the like management wise. And in Denmark, somehow I have not been seeing this kind of clear discussions. Somehow it's good to be in a city this size and to see all the different voices, hear all the different voices, and makes you reflect on what you think, and maybe that's typical for the city of New York also, that there are so many different individuals and there is space for many different people, and you don't have to follow only one mainstream, which is often a tendency in Denmark, both for artists and the curators, something that I do not like. Yeah, so being here makes you reflect on what you think,